Welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Riacho, and it's Tuesday, April 23rd. This will be my last mock draft on Underdog before the NFL draft, and we're going to have some fun. Let's get going. All right, so here we are on Underdog. If you're new to the channel or you don't know what Underdog is, it's a place to make some early season investments in best ball. Best ball is not a big time commitment. You draft a team, the automatic highest scoring roster gets started every week. You do not have to worry about it when the season takes place. But one reason why it's good is everyone who's drafting is putting down money, and you're not going to get a lot of random ass bullshit picks. So here we are. We're going to enter the war room. It's a $5 draft, and the prize pool, I believe top 3 teams advance to the playoffs. So that's when you get your money back. You have a 1 in 4 chance in doing that. And then obviously if you win, first place gets $5,000. So it's a good beginner tournament, and it's the last one available before the NFL draft. So we can capitalize on, some deals that we hope are actually deals, and some players that we think will move up the board following the draft. But just a reminder what the scoring setting is. It's half point PPR, and the roster has 3 wide receivers starting every week. So that position does come at a bit of a premium, but there are 12 bench spots. You can fill out your team with a lot of players. So we're going to hop into this thing, and in case you're watching and you want to join, you can hit the button now. I'm on a little bit of a delay, so I'll give it 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and hopefully if you're interested, we can hop in together. There are still 3 spots available, so in case you want to join, there's a little bit of time, and we will get going very shortly. This draft is about to get going. Let me get myself situated on the computer. All my shit in order. 1 spot left. In case you want to join us, you can use my code Nice and Blunt on sign up and get your first $100 matched, your first deposit up to $100 matched. And it's too late if you want to join us, but use my code Nice and Blunt if you want to sign up for Underdog yourself. We get pick 1, and honestly, I don't like pick 1. I mean, yeah, you get to take whoever you want the most, but there is risk with Christian McCaffrey at number 1. Coming off a Super Bowl season, he played 20 games. He's another year older, and running back is a position that sometimes goes down. I don't expect that to happen, but I feel like there's a little bit more bust potential with Christian McCaffrey at number 1 as opposed to some of the wide receivers. So I may actually not take Christian McCaffrey. I know that sounds a little bit like blasphemy. Usually when you have the number 1 pick, you might as well just take him just because you're almost never going to get him otherwise. But I am going to go in a slightly different direction. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill. I'm going to go with the player who is on pace for 2,000 yards last season. Hopefully he can stay fully healthy. He did miss a little bit of time at the end of the year last season, but I don't really worry about his age. It's a make it or break it type of scenario for Tua, and that offense runs through Tyreek Hill. So I'm going to move off of CMC, and I'm going to go with the receiver in round 1. I would much rather take him at pick 3, but we get pick 1, and it is what it is. We'll see if we regret that decision later on. I think we'll still be able to get good running backs as the rounds go by. But I'll pull up the board. I'm going to grab myself a beverage. I will be right back. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know I'm a fan of coconut water, 100%. I don't like it when they add like, even if it's just 1% of something else. I just want straight coconut water. But it's funny. The first time I ever tried it, I thought it tasted like ass, like just straight saliva or something. Sorry, my cat's like coughing up a hairball in the background. I think she's okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but I think yeah, she's fine. Anyways, yeah, coconut water. First time I ever had it, I was like, what is this? And then the more you drink it, the more you kind of get used to it. And then next thing you know, you're like coming back home from like a workout or like something, and you're just like hot, you're tired and need some hydration. And this shit goes down so fucking fast. Like if I'm parched, I can drink this whole fucking liter in a minute. But yeah, first time you have it, it is not ideal. Yeah, Rock knows what I'm talking about. Definitely grows on you, no doubt, but coconut water is fire. It's got that extra, what are the extra benefits? 95 milligrams of sodium, 410 milligrams of potassium, and some extra calcium. This is good stuff. What's bullshit though, depending on where you buy it, they will mark this shit up like egregiously high. Like I get this at Aldi for like 270 a liter, which you know, compared to like your average, I don't know, like lemonade or something, like that's a little bit more pricey. But some places you go, you'll get it'll be selling for like $6 or $7 a liter. Like what the fuck? That's bullshit. I recommend if you can't find an Aldi, Aldi always has the best price on it, but sometimes they don't carry it. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has like $3 priced coconut water for the liter. Those are the two spots I recommend getting it. Because there's no reason to spend $6 when you can get it for 3 or less. There's no reason to do that. But that's probably enough coconut water talk for this stream. We'll probably bring it up again. But okay, following our Tyreek Hill pick, we see CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. Pretty typical. Bijan, Justin Jefferson, Breece Hall, Amon-Ra, Puka, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson. This is a very typical draft. Followed by Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Marvin Harrison, Deebo Samuel, Kyren Williams. Jonathan Taylor's still on the board. That is shocking. Deebo goes high. I could not justify passing on Jonathan Taylor if I was Team 6. Holy shit. Okay. Team 5's going to have a dope start. Yeah, Bijan and Taylor, that is scary. But here we are getting back to normal. Would love me some Brandon Ayuk if he fell, but I highly doubt it. These last two selections. I feel like I've taken him so much on the stream, but I just think he's undervalued. I'm talking about Mike Evans here. But the team with CMC is likely going to double up on Niners. I'd be surprised if Team 2 does not take him. Okay. I'm happy about that. We will be going Ayuk. And as much as I want to go Malik Neighbors, I really think he's really talented. I'm just so concerned he goes to the Giants, and that would suck. If you told me he was on the Chargers, I'd absolutely be taking Neighbors here. But we're gonna take Brandon Ayuk. Collins is very tempting, but with the Diggs acquisition, It's just not as guaranteed of a workload. Should I go Josh Jacobs? Should I mix in some RB? Nah, I'm just gonna take Mike Evans. One of the players I've drafted so much this early off season. Once Baker Mayfield re-signed, that was all I needed to know. That connection not going to change. Evans, as long as he stays healthy, is good for another 1,000-yard season. That's just money in the bank. Evans is a bust-proof pick. Injury's the only fucking chance. He is not going to work out. But am I going to eat Detroit-style pizza on Thursday to kick it off? Maybe. I'll have to research where I can find it here in Minneapolis, but I do plan to go live on Thursday for the draft. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it midstream because that'll be a long one, or if I'm just going to tune in at the very end of it and give you my first round reaction. I will be giving you my reaction. I'm just not sure if I'm going to do it all live or just all kind of concise, and that way it'll be kind of a shorter video. But I'm very excited for the draft, man. Boofy, I can't wait. But you hope Megatron is there partying. I'm sure he'll be there. I'm sure he's probably going to announce one of the picks. Maybe not round 1, but like round 3. But at the very least, I feel like you're probably going to see some Calvin Johnson announcing the selection, especially if they take receiver. Like, this is not in the same range, but do you remember when the Steelers took George Pickens and they had crap, I'm forgetting his name already. He was just traded twice in the last 2 years. How am I forgetting? The Steelers former receiver. Holy shit. I'm totally blanking on his fucking name. But he was traded to the Bears, then they traded him to the Dolphins. Chase Claypool. They had Chase Claypool announce his replacement. No, not Juju. They didn't do Juju that dirty. They did Chase Claypool pretty dirty. What's up, Jonathan? Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. And who knows? I feel like every time you're here, I end up drafting Dave Montgomery. I feel like that might be in the cards for this this draft as well. Yeah, Chase Claypool is who I was referring to. Once he left that team, I just forgot who he was. He did nothing after that trade. But it's kind of shocking how the Bears have been dominant in trades since that happened. Like, if you look at just that trade specifically, terrible move by the Bears. Terrible move. But since then, they've been fucking geniuses in the trade department, given the situation they're in at the moment. But even the Montez Sweat trade worked out, and they gave up the same draft capital to get Montez Sweat as they gave up to get Chase Claypool. Terrible trade for Chase Claypool, but Jonathan would absolutely approve a Dave Montgomery sighting. We'll see. We'll see. My favorite draft pick was when that one guy made fun of Dallas and then they took Dallas Goedert. Yeah, that Dallas to Dallas seemed inevitable, but the Eagles said nope. Nice shirt from Howard. You get in at least one compliment every stream, it seems. Thank you, pal. Thank you, Howard. Okay. So we might have Cook fall to us. Not upset with that. Not at all. And at the worst, we'd be getting Rachaad White. Because we will be taking running back at this turn. Should we take both? Let me know in the in the chat. Do you want both James Cook and Rachaad White? Because honestly, I've been starting to get a little higher in my view of Odunze. Even if he goes to Chicago, even if he goes to the Jets, I actually really like him, and there's no Giants concerns. But we are taking James Cook here. We are grabbing James Cook. Question is Odunze or Rachaad White? Because receiver is not comparable coming back around. Boofy likes White over Cook straight up. We're going to go with Rachaad White. We're going to take him. Because the running backs around pick, what's our next pick number? 72, 73. We're hoping that Montgomery's still available. Otherwise, we have to reach a little bit on guys like James Conner, Ramondre. Not in love with that. I feel very comfortable with the Cook-White combo. And there's no way players like Walker, Mixon, or Pacheco will be available. Maybe Kamara sneaks past the crowd, but I doubt it, and I do not like Aaron Jones at that value. Montgomery's really the ideal pick after Kenneth Walker. Kamara's okay, but yeah. We've taken Montgomery many times, and if he's not available, we're not going to be in a jam where we regretted passing on running back. So our decision to leave McCaffrey on the board at number 1, I think, worked out for us, given we have the combo of James Cook, Rachaad White. Howard is asking, who do you prefer, Rachaad White or DJ Moore? If it was not a 3 wide receiver league like Underdog is, then I think Rachaad White would probably be going above DJ Moore, because I can't tell you with like supreme confidence that DJ Moore is going to be more effective than Keenan Allen. Like, that's a legitimate toss-up. Who of those 2 receivers is actually going to be the one? Because I feel like it's possible that given Caleb is a rookie, he might just lean on the savvy veteran in Keenan Allen, who's like, let's face it, always open on third down. I feel like DJ Moore is just going too high, and I feel like because of this format on Underdog, the running backs are going a little bit too low. It's close. I think if you didn't have the extra receiver to account for, they'd probably be going almost back to back. But I think from a floor standpoint, I'd rather take Rachaad White in like a regular season-long redraft format, because you're getting such consistent usage every week, whereas DJ Moore is a bit of a boom-bust option. Like, a lot of DJ Moore's production last year was consolidated in a few games. Like, remember that Washington Thursday night game where he put up like 250 yards and like 3 touchdowns, like 50 fantasy points? Like, it's not like he averaged 20 points on the season with that game. He averaged like 13, 14, maybe 15 max or something with a game like that on the docket. And he was not as effective when Bagent was the quarterback. So DJ Moore is a little bit more up and down, whereas Rachaad White is like a weekly money in the bank. I think I'd rather go Rachaad White straight up over DJ Moore. But Boofy's saying it's a strong possibility that Odunze ends up a Bear too. Yeah, that's definitely possible, and that doesn't help DJ, Keenan, Kmet. I mean, even the fact that they signed Gerald Everett doesn't really help them. Like, they have a ton of weapons. They got a 3-headed backfield as well. Everyone can catch passes. Like, Swift didn't really do that in Philly last year, but that's definitely part of his skill set. And then Roschon Johnson, more of a third down running back. So yeah, there's like too many mouths to feed in Chicago. But you know what would like, there's a slim possibility that a team like Buffalo is just all in on trading up into the top 10 for Odunze. Like, Would you really be shocked if the Bears traded down at 9 and just stockpiled picks instead of taking Odunze? If the Bills called them and they gave them a legit offer, wouldn't be shocked at all. Maybe that's a little bit too far down. Maybe a team like the Bengals is more in the range that they're trying to get to, like still top 20. But I don't feel like they need Rome. And if there's a team willing to trade up in the market for him, wouldn't be shocked to see it. But that's why I'm so excited about the draft. We really have no idea what's going to happen, and there's so many possibilities and a lot of opportunity for a lot of young players. If they get the right landing spot, they could be league winners in fantasy next season. I think a lot of them are going to contribute early and often, especially at the receiver position. I feel like there's at least 10 receivers that I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are going to be problems as soon as next year. Other prospects I think need to really go to the right situation, the right spot, but there's a lot of opportunity up for grabs. So we're back on the clock in a few picks. And if Addison is still available, I would feel comfortable with Addison as our number 4. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that at all. Burrow gets picked. Montgomery also available. Evan Ingram is a good tight end. Whoa. Massive reach on Xavier Worthy. Holy shit. All right. I will go with Jordan Addison. But because we have to double up, I'm going to let the time run out. I just don't want to be pressed for this next pick. Okay, let me know in the chat. Do you want Dave Montgomery or do you want Evan Ingram? I think I know exactly where y'all are going to go. I think you're going to prefer Montgomery over Ingram. But, you know, from a team build standpoint, I don't know if we need our third running back. Montgomery or Ingram? Please let me know in the chat. Because Ingram's going to get a lot of targets. Similar to last year. He had 143 targets last year. Ingram was a machine. But not getting any responses. I'm okay. Boofy, you came in clutch. You came in just in time. We went with Ingram. But Jonathan, I apologize. Just a little bit too late. It was very close, but you know, I've been noticing like a problem that I've been having. I ignore the tight end position so much. I ignore it like crazy, and I find myself in like round 12 and I like still don't have a tight end, and I'm like hoping that Freiermuth falls to me, and then I get sniped and I'm just like, oh shit. It happens to me a little bit too much. Like I ignore tight end. So yeah, I'm sorry, Jonathan. Sorry for the tears, but just changing it up a little bit, mixing it up. Ingram's very safe. As Boofy's mentioned, they let Ridley walk as well. And I think they're going to replace him with a rookie receiver. I feel like Bryant Thomas is their pick in round 1. Could be wrong, but if that doesn't happen, then there's even more targets just sitting there for Ingram. Howard's asking, do I prefer Ingram over McBride? No, I prefer McBride. McBride is still the preference, but if it's like season long redraft, you probably get a little bit more consistency out of Evan Ingram, I think. The problem with Ingram is he didn't score touchdowns last year. It took Christian Kirk getting hurt for him to find the end zone, and then he was just like fucking supreme in the last 2 months of the season. But yeah, Ingram was like getting 7 targets a game almost every single week. I remember looking at his stats. Like week 1, he had 5 targets, and then literally the next 3 months, for every game, there's just a random 6, 6, 6 targets. But otherwise, it's 7 or 8, 10, and then when Kirk went out, he had 12. He had 15. He had 13. He had 4 games with 10 catches. He is probably Trevor Lawrence's favorite go-to target. And it was just a bummer that he didn't score touchdowns until the end of the year, because otherwise he was like extremely consistent, very, very safe. You could make an argument for him as a top 5 tight end, but I think there's better options. I think I'd much rather have Laporta. I'd rather have McBride, as you were asking. I'd rather have Kincaid, because I feel like there's just so many targets available in Buffalo. Kincaid's role is so secure. But Kelce is not as safe as I think the 4th round discount may make you think. Kelce had some rough times last year, and I feel like he's also going to check out a little bit in the early season until he gets to the playoffs. He'll come on in the playoffs, but we don't play fantasy in the playoffs. So Kelce, I think, is in the top 5, but the discount we're getting on him this year is absolutely worth it. And then once you hit Andrews, Pitts, Kittle, and Ingram, I think all 4 of those are kind of interchangeable. It just depends on what type of argument you want to make for those players, because Andrew's probably going to score the most touchdowns of all of them, so I think he should probably be going first. Kittle didn't catch that many passes last year. He had a lot of games with like 3 for 80, and if it wasn't for the usage down the field and the yak, then Kittle's actually not getting the volume that you desire. Ingram is getting way more volume. It's just the touchdowns weren't hitting until the end of the year, as we mentioned. And then Pitts, I mean, he put up over 1,000 yards as a rookie, but has never performed well for fantasy. The upgrading quarterback to Kirk Cousins would indicate maybe it's finally time for his breakout. He's still very young, and there may be a little more upside with Pitts. But Ingram is in the same tier, and he's going later than all of them. And I would be hoping for a guy like Jake Ferguson to make it to us, but I definitely prefer Ingram over Jake Ferguson. So, yeah, that's the situation we find ourselves in. We have 3 more picks before we're on the clock, and players we're going to be looking at. I mean, I would absolutely take Jordan Love if he falls, but this team would be shocked if he passes on him, given he does have Josh Jacobs. He already has a Packers investment. Not in the market for Ferguson. He's got 2 tight ends, so not expecting this to happen. But team 2, yeah, Jordan Love does not make it back. Okay. We have Ayuk. So maybe we're in the market for Purdy, but I think Chubb has true league-winning potential here in the 8-9 turn. I will be taking Nick Chubb. That is for sure. The question is, are we going with Purdy or not? I think I'm going to pass on Purdy. Very tempting. But I'm going to double up on tight ends. And it's possible that I can ignore the position entirely for the rest of this draft. Like, if we just want to roll with these 2 tight ends, we can. And that does give us a little roster flexibility and a premium on this position, because we're not the only team that has taken 2. And now there's going to be a bit of a run on that spot as people try and fill out the depth. So, knowing that we got Ferguson here at 97, maybe Montgomery was the better pick, but I'm happy with what we have. We do have a good combo, that's for sure. And while we don't have quarterback, I I've been starting to ignore and punt the position. I think there's such good value at quarterback that if we take 3 of them in the next 4 rounds between picks 120 and 145 here at the turn, if we take 3 of them in this stretch, most likely 2 at the 10-11, I'm going to feel very comfortable, very satisfied, and very safe with the collection that we have. While I do like Purdy, he kind of saved my ass last season in the subscriber league when Kirk Cousins went down. I don't think we need him. Now our tight end is secure. And as I was mentioning, that's a position I've kind of been ignoring in a lot of my drafts. So it's about time I have a team that has 2 good tight ends on it. About 15 minutes before this live stream started, I popped 15 milligrams of these THC edibles. 5-to-1 ratio favoring CBD, but each of them are 5 mgs. I took 3, and by the time this draft is done, we're gonna be flying. But we're starting to get there. It's starting to creep in. I can feel it. I can feel it now, Mr. Krabs. Anyways, if you haven't done so already, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. Helps the channel grow. And if you'd like, if you're enjoying this live stream, hit that like button for me as well. It helps me in the algorithm, helps me get more viewers. And, you know, if you've noticed, I have not really been on the channel very much, but I gotta make some money. I gotta save up some money for the season because this takes up so much more of my time. I don't have as much free time to work on other things. So if this channel can make a lot more revenue, then I can devote a lot more of my time to the channel. And, you know, we won't have as much of like a lull in the off season every year if it can be more profitable for me during the season. I'm just telling you my situation. But yeah, subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate any of your support. Okay. So here we are at the turn. And if we can get our hands on Herbert, I'm going to be very happy. I know I took Tyreek, but I really don't like the Tua value. I am not a fan of Tua's fantasy value, in all honesty. So we're definitely taking Justin Herbert. Running back's not my favorite here. Maybe we should go with the stack. I mean, he did throw for 4,600 yards, but he threw 14 interceptions, 5 fumbles, only 29 touchdowns. Maybe I should take him. Just because I have the stack. I don't want to. I really prefer Kirk Cousins' value. And Trevor Lawrence would also correlate with his stack. But we do have Tyreek Hill. He's falling. Fuck it. I'll take Tua. The combo of Herbert and Tua. I think that's also going to work out time-wise. Because I feel like Herbert might have a slow start to the season in his new offense. That's definitely kind of favoring the run, at least from a mindset standpoint of Jim Harbaugh. That's what we expect, especially with the lack of investment in receivers. They're going to draft a rookie receiver, obviously, maybe 2, but I can't expect the two of them or whoever it is are going to be like truly elite week 1. Like unless it's Marvin Harrison Jr., then I would imagine kind of a slow start to the season for the Chargers passing offense. So I feel like Herbert is going to be a little rough in September for fantasy, but by the time we hit mid-October, November at the latest, he will be rolling and he has that rushing upside. He's going to be fine. I think he's super valuable going at pick 120 here. I don't think he's that much different than what you're getting from guys like Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy. I think he's probably better than Jared Goff, a little more consistent. Goff has like big spike weeks, and then he'll have like a 12-pointer on the road. But Tua is really like an early season asset. Like if you have Tua in December, he kind of sucks. Like that's one reason why I'm not really like super high on him, because we're gonna bring up his season last year. He had so many games with just like one touchdown towards the end of the year. He started off like hot, like 3, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. And then the rest of the way, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 2, 1. Not a lot. And then the interceptions were racking up as well. 4 in the last 2 games. As we mentioned, he had some fumbles as well. Yeah, he was turning it over late in the year, and he didn't go over 300 yards after week 11. It was all early on in the season when he was putting up his big stats. So from like a time correlation, I think you're definitely getting early production out of Tua. That's kind of just how the Dolphins are. They do kind of slow down in the second half of the year. But Herbert, I think, will start to ramp up and really hit his stride in the second half of the season. So I do think the pairing of Herbert and Tua is not bad. But if you're just taking one straight up, expect there to be a lull during the season for Tua, especially in December. When the weather's a factor, the Dolphins' offense is just not as good. They really benefit from the hot weather, especially when they play at home, especially in that situation. But we see Cousins go after him 2 picks later. Trevor Lawrence immediately after that. Wow, somebody reached on Shaheed. But TJ Hockenson, Cole Kmet, Tyjae Spears, Gus Edwards, Jerry Jeudy, Chuba Hubbard, Blake Corum, Chase Brown, Joshua Palmer. Sad that we can't get our stack. Joshua Palmer is my most drafted player this season. I think he's going still overlooked. And somebody reached on him slightly at pick 133. 12th round Josh Palmer is too late. Definitely take Palmer over Quentin Johnston as well. It's not even comparable, the type of player you're getting. Palmer's way more reliable by like a mile. He could easily put up top 30 numbers next season. And he's going at like fucking 50. Wide receiver 55 something. You want me to take Wicks? I mean, I think he's talented. Yeah, he just went off. I don't know if I'd say he's the best on the board though. The board is kind of getting slim. Problem with Wicks is that he's the 4th guy in the receivers, and they have 2 tight ends that are good. They added Josh Jacobs. How many targets is Wicks really gonna get? You need Christian Watson to go down again, which probably will happen at some point. But until it does, how many snaps is Wicks actually gonna get? I don't hate him. But we've taken him many times on the channel, and we do have the double stack with Rashad White and Mike Evans. So Baker Mayfield is going to be one of our picks here. I told you prepping our last 2 picks, we'll be taking 3 quarterbacks in the next 4, and so Baker's one of them. And then I don't like this pick. I was just shitting on him in terms of how much I prefer Josh Palmer, but we're going to take Quentin Johnston. Not happy about it. But or should I grab a rookie? Do I go Keon Coleman, who's fallen a little bit? Maybe I just take Keon Coleman. Yeah, I really don't like Quentin Johnston. I'm not like in love with Keon Coleman, but based on his prospect profile, there's a chance he goes in that sweet spot late first round. Like if there's a big run on the wide receiver position, there's a chance he's like the guy that goes to the Chiefs if they get sniped a little bit. I can't imagine that's going to happen. I feel like that's really unlikely. I feel like he's more likely to go top of the second, like more like a somewhere in the 30s or 40s. He's top 50, but if my mock draft is correct, then Keon Coleman will be a Panther. And that may not be a great selection, but who knows? Maybe he's a Charger. The Chargers are going to be on the board at 37, so maybe our Keon Coleman stack is more valuable than the Quentin Johnston stack. But yeah, I can't say I'm like the biggest Keon Coleman fan heading into this draft. There's just so many receivers I like and are going later that I think are either just as good, if not better. Like Leggett and Pearsall, I think I'd rather have in fantasy given their later ADP. But I think even straight up, I think Leggett has more potential. I think Pearsall maybe has a higher floor, less bust potential than Keon Coleman. But they're in a similar tier. However, you scroll down. I'm not huge on Roman Wilson, honestly. Like he's top 20 at receiver, but I'm not like in love with him. Who I do fucking love is Jalen Polk. I cannot get enough of Jalen Polk. I'm super excited about Jalen Polk. Yes, he played with Michael Penix, good quarterback last year, but he also had Odunze and McMillan on the field, two really good receivers in their own right, and he still put up really good stats. How do we? Let's put in Polk. Yeah, we'll find him. He's 6'2", 190, and last year he caught 69 receptions for 1,159 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and 9 receiving touchdowns, and a 10th that was scored on the ground. 10 total touchdowns, just under 1,200 total yards in 15 games. Jalen Polk is exceptional, and I'm kind of just like falling in love with all of the Washington Huskies receivers. I can't stop drafting them. I wish I had a little more Odunze, as we mentioned like earlier in the video, because he's really talented. He's so good. It's just where he's going, it's a little bit awkward. You either need to reach on him or he falls, and then depending on what you need at running back, it's not always like the best pick in round 4. But we passed on him, and he did go in round 5. But him, Jalen Polk, and Jalen McMillan, all players I can't stop drafting. I love them. Truly love them. McMillan has 10-inch hands as well. McMillan has the biggest hands of any receiver in this year's draft class. And he put up over 1,000 yards 2 years ago. McMillan did not have a full season last year, but he's phenomenal. 6'1", 180. They're both really well-sized receivers, great for the NFL. And 2 years ago, he put up 1,100 yards on 79 catches, 9 touchdowns. Much more of just a slot receiver, but really, really good one. I have him projected to go to the Chiefs at pick 64 in my mock draft. I would love to see that happen. I have Polk going to the Cowboys at like pick 54 or something like that. 56 or maybe. Damn it, Polk goes... Fuck. We do not get Polk. But we need running back. We should not ignore that position for too long. Unfortunately, might get sniped on Antonio Gibson. Hmm. I don't. I'm not gonna be mad about Mooney. Mooney's in a better situation, and I've been a fan of him since he had that massive season in 2021. Damn it, we don't even get Gibson. Okay, running back is a little rough for us at the moment. And Mitchell goes. All right, so we are gonna get Mooney, but we don't need quarterback anymore. Yikes. Running back dried up fast. All right, just give me Mooney, and then I think we have to go running back. Damn. This is ugly. I might regret this, but we're just shooting for the moon, and we have Justin Herbert. Give me J.K. Dobbins. Fuck it. Signed in L.A. with the Chargers. He's talented. He's got some talent. Will he stay healthy? Very unlikely. Probably not going to happen, but there's upside. There's plenty of upside. May have just thrown away that pick, but I mean, I wasn't going to reach once we got sniped on Marshawn Lloyd at the previous turn. So I don't regret passing on Rico Dowdle, Jaleel McLaughlin, Braylon Allen. I think I probably prefer Braylon of this bunch just because he's a rookie and there's like potential that he goes to Dallas or something like that. But I don't think I needed to reach on him. And, we just missed out. 5 running backs went in the 6 picks before us. We didn't even get fucking Jalen Polk, though. That sucks. Damn it. Damn it. What are my thoughts on Roman Wilson? I really like the prospect. He's not bad. He's very fast. He ran like a 4.39 40. Let me be accurate before I talk out of my ass. I believe that's correct. 4.39 40. Yes. 5'11", 185. His arms are 30 inches, and he can zip. He's a good runner. He's fucking fast. But I don't know if the touchdown rate is really going to repeat in the NFL. I feel like he'd be a decent third option. He's a kind of just like a strict slot receiver. So there aren't like the most viable opportunities for him. Like if he was an X receiver, I'd be a little bit more hyped on him. But I just don't know if he's gonna score this many touchdowns. And I do think he's good. Like I'm not trying to completely bring him down. I just think there's so many really talented receivers that he is not inside my top 15. He's like, I want to say my like receiver number. I have him written down somewhere. Like 17 or something. Um, he'll probably be fine. He's gonna go in round 2. I'd be shocked if he fell to the 3rd round. But like I legitimately have 17, probably exactly like 17 receivers going in the first 2 rounds. And so it's really about like landing spot. And yeah, I don't hate him. I just think there's at least 15 other receivers in this draft that are better prospects. That's all. Which sounds like he's terrible, but it's just like no, there's just so many fucking good players at receiver this year. So he hasn't like he's not one of my favorites. I'll just leave it at that. Um, if he can somehow continue that touchdown production, because 48 catches, 12 touchdowns. 25% of the balls that you catch go for a score. That's very unlikely to repeat. And he didn't even catch 50. Like in 4 years of college, he barely has more than 100 total catches. So I just wish there was more on the film reel. I have watched a decent amount of him, but it just feels like there's just not enough of a complete profile for me to like be all in on him. That's all. But I mean, when he scores, he's getting it done. I mean, when they need him on like third down and shit, they definitely get the ball to him and he produces. But yeah, just not my favorite. That's all. I think I have him projected going to the Eagles as well, around like pick 50, 51. So that's not a terrible spot, but obviously there's not like a ton of volume headed his way immediately. Okay, we're on the clock in 2 picks. We don't need quarterback or tight end. It's really just between receiver and running back. Yeah, and I'm just going to take 2 rookies that I do believe in. I really like Malik Washington. And as I was raving about him earlier, I really like Jalen McMillan. Those are 2 rookie receivers I cannot stop drafting. I feel great about them. And even though I reached on them slightly, we're at the turn. And at this point in the draft, you just take who you want. They're going around 206. They're not going to make it back. So we took both of them. And yeah, like that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm not like completely in love with Roman Wilson, because there's guys that I do think are a little bit better going even later, so I don't draft him very much. But I understand your point here. I blame JJ McCarthy for the low pass volume, says Jonathan. I hate McCarthy so much. There, it's funny because sometimes like I wonder if all of the hype surrounding JJ McCarthy is just a smokescreen scare tactic for a team like the Vikings or the Giants to get the Patriots to fucking bite, or anyone to bite and like draft him third as the third quarterback, and somehow Drake May is like falling as QB4, and it's like, oh holy shit, how did this shit happen? Because last year he was like so clearly number 2, and now it's like there's a lot of shit being flung towards Drake May, and I wonder how much of that is certain teams trying to, convince like an owner with all the hype that like, no, JJ McCarthy should be the third quarterback gone off in this draft. But yeah, it's a little bit hard to judge all of the Michigan weapons given their offense. Like even Corum, there's no way he's going to score 24 touchdowns again. Like maybe that could happen, but like I feel like he's a little bit inflated given how much production and how good he was. Hi, Mike. Do you see my cat is on the screen? Did she make it in the frame or? Yeah, there she is. Hello. Are you getting hungry? Yeah, it's time for her to eat. Hey, how's it going? Want to say hi to the people? Turn over here. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi. you doing? Okay, I think I need a feeder, and then I'll get right back to this because that's clearly the sign that she's trying to communicate what she's trying to tell me. Let's get this back in order. All right, I'll be right back. Come on, girl. Come on. Nice dog. Yeah, she's a great canine. Lovely German Shepherd. Okay, so our team consists of Justin Herbert, Tua, Baker, James Cook, Rachaad White, Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Evans, Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman, Darnell Mooney, Malik Washington, and Jalen McMillan, Evan Ingram, Jake Ferguson. We only have 3 picks left, and 2 of them need to be running backs, and then that third could be yet another running back, if not our third tight end. But I don't think we need that tight end. That's a bit of a luxury selection based on the build that we have. But we will not be getting any insurance for Nick Chubb, so he has to hit for us. Little bit scared about that, but you know, he's going so late. I'm not upset about it. It's not bad. Like, if we went Dave Montgomery instead of Evan Ingram and still got Nick Chubb, I'd probably feel safer with this team. But if Nick Chubb actually produces what we would need to win this tournament out of the 8th spot, then it makes our tight end strategy more helpful in the long run. So, yeah. We're definitely done at receiver because we're so loaded up top. We don't need more depth than what we already have. We already have 8 receivers. Running back's the pick here. Let me know what you guys think between A.J. Dillon, Alexander Mattison, Kenneth Gainwell, and CEH. We need 2. And I think the one I like the most, yikes, would be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Because if any of these 4 get the job, I feel like CEH can actually put up the most points. Jonathan wants A.J. Dillon. Yeah, Josh Jacobs could definitely miss some time. He's done that in the past. A.J. Dillon could not score for the life of him last season, though. He was so mid. He was so disappointing, but we're gonna make you happy, man. We're gonna give you A.J. Dillon. Yeah, you got it, man. We did not take your Montgomery earlier, so we're listening to you on this one. So we need Jacobs to miss like 3-4 games and get some touchdown production out of A.J. Dillon. That's all we need, a few touchdowns. Because last year he had a lot of, like, when he was filling in for Aaron Jones, you know, he had like a lot of 8-9 point games. Even if he caught like 6 catches, it was like, no, I'm not giving you more than 9 points. And he just like never found the end zone. And the only time he did was like that Las Vegas game when people expected Aaron Jones to play on Monday night and then he didn't. Fucking A.J. Dillon has been a big disappointment. Oh, the cat's back. Hello, kitty kitty. Um, hey, it's all right. Yeah, he scored that touchdown against Las Vegas on a surprise start, and then his only other touchdown the entire season was against Carolina when he had 7 for 12. Like, the only two games where he was somewhat productive are games you didn't start him, because that Las Vegas game, most people had Aaron Jones either on their bench or locked into the starting spot, and they got screwed last minute. Very few people who had Dylan that week were able to start him. I had him. I was very aware of how disappointing he was. But we have one pick left, and who knows? Maybe we'll still have Gainwell available to us. If Gainwell is there, I'm going to take Gainwell. Because it's not like Saquon is the healthiest guy either. Same scenario as AJ Dillon. Like, there's a clear backup, and you need the starter to go down. He looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane. Yeah, yeah. The Quadzilla nickname was really an oversell. I mean, yes, he does have massive quads, but like from what you would expect it to translate to in terms of fantasy value, one of the biggest disappointments. But I also love the strategy of both the Packers and the Chiefs re-signing CEH and AJ Dillon, because they could have done it right away. You know what I mean? Like, they could have been like, yeah, we definitely want you back. But no, they let them hit free agency and let them really understand how, the league views them as trash. Like, just as their fantasy value is pretty much emblematic of their free agent value. Nobody wants this garbage. But you know what? The Chiefs and the Packers were like, you know what? You're our garbage, but you belong to us. We're the ones that discarded you. Let us take care of you. Come back home, and we'll just keep you on the roster. And who knows? You might get lucky, start a couple games, but once they're healthy again, we're yanking you. So yeah, that's what happened, and they found themselves on our roster. We said the same thing. You're our garbage, CEH and AJ Dillon. We won't throw you away. Well, maybe. Maybe one day. Okay, so quarterbacks handled. We have Herbert, Tua, and Baker. Running back is decent now, at least in terms of quantity. James Cook, Rachaad White. That's still a good combo. I'm not going to need that many weeks from other people. Nick Chubb has that league-winning upside. Hopefully he stays healthy. Let's just hope that happens. J.K. Dobbins, also need him to stay healthy, and maybe Gus Edwards gets hurt. Maybe Dobbins just finally has the year that we've been expecting from him. And CEH and AJ Dillon maybe give us like 3-4 games apiece. But we could use a seventh. I wouldn't be upset with a seventh. At tight end, I wish I could trust Donald Parham as a solid option, but the problem is the Chargers have literally brought in like 3 free agent tight ends after releasing Gerald Everett. They brought in Hayden Hurst, who had amnesia last year after a concussion. Let's hope that works out. They also brought in Will Dissly of the Seahawks of Seattle, and then I feel like there's another one. Oh, I'm thinking Colby Parkinson went to the Rams. That's who I'm thinking of. But yeah, I just can't tell you like what the plan is with these Chargers tight ends. I do like Jelani Woods though, and Greg Dulcich. Even Davis Allen is also interesting, but are there any running backs that we should invest in? Nah, maybe Jamal Williams. Fuck it. I'm going to go with Donald Parham. I'm just going to complete our Chargers stack and remind you of the team. We have 3 quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, and Baker Mayfield. We waited until the end of the 10th round to take our first quarterback and took 3 in the next 4 picks. I'm comfortable with this. I'm not the biggest fan of Tua, but we have the Tyreek Hill stack combo. It is justified, and he's our number 2. I'm not expecting the world from him at the end of the season. But speaking of wide receiver, we also have Ayuk, Mike Evans, Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman, Darnell Mooney, Malik Washington, and Jalen McMillan. 3 studs at the top. A second-year guy who may have been dealt too much of a punishment in the ADP at this point. For him to go pick 72, that's his floor. There's no way he's worse than wide receiver 35 or close to that where he's going. If anything, he's going to be more productive at the beginning of the season when TJ Hawkinson is out. But Keon Coleman, Malik Washington, Jalen McMillan, some good rookies with potential. Who knows what'll happen? And then Darnell Mooney, excellent situation as the number 2 in Atlanta. Who knows? Maybe he's more productive than Kyle Pitts next season. Tight end, we have Evan Ingram, Jake Ferguson, Donald Parham. So Parham is just a cherry on top. We're really leaning on Ingram and Ferguson. And then running back, we went we ignored Christian McCaffrey with the first overall pick. We doubled up on James Cook, Rashad White at the 4-5 turn. Then we went with Nick Chubb at the end of the 8th. J.K. Dobbins putting up a prayer. CH and A.J. Dillon also hoping for some usage. But running backs a little bit thinner, but still competitive, still viable. And wide receivers dominant. Quarterback, if we really got excellent value, then we're rolling. And then tight end, given our combo, we have enough upside to put us over the top. If we somehow do make it to the playoffs, we have some potential with this team. I like the roster. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And before we go, Jonathan is our last comment. I wish the Chargers would take Brock Bowers. That would be dope. As long as they trade back from 5 and get 2 first-round picks, I wouldn't be upset about it at all. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they might go offensive lineman, but if they're trading down to 11 and he's on the board, they should probably just take him. Not going to replicate that type of talent elsewhere in that range. Like the first round doesn't have another receiving option as good as Bowers once Odunze is off the board. So yeah, let's see what happens. Really excited. And next time I see all of you guys, it will be after the first round. I'll give you a reaction, at least at the end of the first round, if not during it. Depends on how I'm feeling in a couple nights. But that's going to be it for me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. But yeah, it's been fun. Later. Bye.